Cat, I hear you ask, did you really just spend 2 full days making that stupid Spiders in Space fake opening titles just because the book you're about to review has spiders in space? Yes, what's your point? Welcome, I'm Kat, and today I'll be talking about Children of Ruin by Adrian Tchaikovsky. This is a sequel to Children of Time that I already talked about on my channel, and the review of that book was completely terrible. I am so sorry, but it's staying on just to show my progress. And also the thumbnail is super cute, okay? I'm not taking that off. Maybe I'll redo that video at some point. It's so bad. Okay, so this time I'm gonna do it a bit differently because if I just tell you the setup of the book, it will spoil the first book if you haven't read it. And if you haven't read it, what the hell are you doing? Go and read it. It's amazing. So for Children of Ruin, I'm just gonna start with some general thoughts and feelings. And then in the second half of the video, I'll delve a bit more into like setup and just a bit more details. Not spoilery for the second book, but definitely spoilery for the first book. Okay, so Children of Ruin. First of all, I absolutely love this book. It was so good, you guys. Oh my god. I don't think I liked it more than Children of Time, but I think it was, for me at least, on the same level. It expanded more on the ideas from the first book, it gave them a bit of a different twist, and a lot of the things I liked about the first book were definitely present in the second book, so, you know, I just loved it. More spiders. Is spiders adorable? Yes, please more. There's another really cool civilization we meet, and I'm not gonna say anything about it, but it was, again, super fascinating, completely different, very interesting. I always like it when authors try and imagine a non-human way of thinking. There's plenty of that here. I also found it to be kind of terrifying in places. There's something that happens in the middle. It terrified me on an existential level so much that I had to put the book down. I just found this concept really, really scary. But then it might be just that I am a scaredy cat and anyone else reading would be like, what are you talking about? This is not scary at all. But I found it scary, okay? I really like the characters. There were some side characters that were a bit forgettable, but the characters that we spend most of our time with were really engaging in my opinion. I think also that's why towards the end I had to kind of read in stops and starts. It was very tense and I was really worried about the characters I became attached to, so I almost couldn't handle the tension. But yeah, overall I highly recommend this. It's a great sequel to an already amazing book and I enjoyed reading it very, very much. It made me feel a lot of things. I got really emotional. I think I cried in a couple places. And then the end, I think, okay, I'm not gonna talk about the end, let's just not. So overall, read the first book, read the second book, they're amazing. Okay, so here's the part where I got just a bit more into details for the people who have read the first book. It will spoil the ending of the first book, so if you're planning to read Children of Time, click away now, you have been warned. Okay, so kind of similar to the first book, this book jumps between past and present. In the past, we have another terraforming team, far away from a Rana Currents project that later turned into the Spider civilization. This team arrives to their chosen solar system, only to discover that the planet they set out to terraform already has life on it. Really weird alien life. It's not a civilization, it's more like just plant and animal life, although it's just very different, so you couldn't even classify it into plant and animal life, but it's not sentient creatures. So the team decides to observe this planet, but then try and terraform another planet in the same solar system. Now, in the present, we start with where the first book left off, a mysterious signal from the stars, and a joint spider-human mission to try and contact whoever is sending that signal. So I really like how the narrative weaves between the past and the present. I found both sections equally interesting. I also liked how it just leaves off every section at what feels like the right spot for the narrative. I really like the main human characters in the past, especially Sankovi, and in the present I really liked Helena, and Portia and Fabian. Obviously all the spiders, I just really like the spider characters. It's funny how I think I like the spider characters even more than the human ones. I keep imagining them as being super cute for some reason. I know that some people might find it disturbing, but I just imagine them as these like dog-sized, fluffy spiders with huge eyes. I like how even though the two species are at peace and cooperating, the humans and the spiders still find it very hard to communicate, even after decades of living side by side. Obviously, their senses on a biological level are very different, so even just talking is challenging. In general, I really like how a lot of this book is about communication. So in the present, aside from the space mission they're on, the main characters are all also working on creating a more simple and straightforward way for spiders and humans to talk. And later, when they encounter another civilization and it's completely different in the way it thinks and functions, and they need to figure out how to, again, communicate with that civilization, and suddenly you're like, oh gosh, spiders and humans are actually had it kind of easy. So that was really interesting. And I feel like some of it was in the first book, but I feel like here it's much more prominent. And it actually made me think about the movie Arrival, you know, when there's aliens that arrive to Earth and it's not an invasion, they're just trying to talk, but they're so different that even saying hello is challenging. And the whole movie is about trying to find a common language with the aliens. Loved that movie, it was so interesting. So this book is definitely right up my alley. I liked it a lot. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say for this review. Again, I feel like my positive reviews are always a bit on the shorter side just because I don't want to spoil anything for people who actually want to read the book. So I'm just trying to be as vague as I can, and I don't want to accidentally spoil anything and ruin the enjoyment of the book for others. So I just end up talking a lot about how much I loved everything, which gets really repetitive really quickly. I'm sorry. I'll just stop now. That is it. Thanks so much for watching. Like if you like this video, subscribe if you want to see what else I'll be reading next, and goodbye.